Welcome to the Dermatology Studio with Dr. Yusra Ayaz.
So, when you hear the word eczema, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Probably just one kind of itchy red rash, right? Well, what if I told you that eczema is actually a whole family of skin conditions? Each one is totally different with its own unique calling card. Today, we're going to decode 4 of the big ones so you can start to figure out what your skin might be trying to tell you. Let's jump in. You know that feeling. You find some mysterious rash on your skin and your mind just starts spinning. Is it an allergy? A bug bite? Did I touch something weird? The truth is, a rash is not just a rash. They're not all the same. And figuring out exactly which one you have, well, that's the absolute first step to getting some real relief. And that's what we're here to do today. All right, here's our roadmap. We're going to start with the very distinct coin-shaped rash called nummular dermatitis. Then we'll get into the one that looks like a dried-up riverbed, Asteatotic Eczema. After that, it's the pale patches of Pityriasis Alba, which you see a lot in kids. And we'll wrap up the types with chronic scaly dermatitis. Finally, we'll pull it all together and talk about why getting the right name for the right rash is so important.
Okay, first up, nummular dermatitis. Now, the name itself gives you a massive clue. Nummular actually comes from the Latin word for coin.
And there it is. This picture says it all. You see those perfectly round, coin-shaped patches? That is the classic textbook sign of nummular dermatitis. It almost looks like someone left some spare change on the skin, doesn't it? So the key feature here is that unmistakable coin shape with a really sharp border. It usually starts out as a little cluster of tiny blisters, doctors call them vesicles, on a red patch of skin. Then, over time, it'll get scaly, and sometimes the center even starts to clear up, leaving a ring shape. You'll most likely find these on the lower legs, the backs of the hands, and the arms. So who gets this? Well, it's kind of interesting. It tends to hit women at a younger age and men at an older age. Now, if we put this under a microscope, we'd see a few things going on. We'd see those little blisters, we'd see a ton of swelling, that's edema, and a whole crew of immune cells that have rushed to the scene. And because of that ring shape it can sometimes get, a doctor needs to make sure it's not something else, like a fungal infection, ringworm, or even something more serious. And it doesn't stop there. This thing can show up in a few different ways. You've got the exudative type, which is the weepy, crusty one. Then there's a rare dry type that's really stubborn and hard to treat. Sometimes it's just a single patch on the hands, maybe where you got an injury or from something you're exposed to at work. And finally, there's a really widespread, super itchy version that tends to show up in adult men. So how do you deal with it? Well, it's a step-by-step process. The first line of defense is all about the basics. Really good moisturizers, we call them emollients, to fix the skin barrier, and topical steroids to calm everything down. If it gets infected, you might need antibiotics. If that's not enough, we move to the second line, which is a non-steroid cream. And for the really tough cases, the third line brings out the big guns. Things like phototherapy, which uses special UV light, or even pills to calm down the immune system. All right, moving on to type number 2, Asteatotic Eczema. This one has a fantastic nickname that paints a perfect picture. Crazy paving skin. And this image shows you exactly why. Just look at that pattern of fine red cracks spreading across super dry skin. It looks exactly like a dried-up riverbed or an old cracked sidewalk, right? That crazy paving look is the absolute hallmark of asteatotic eczema. So beyond that cracked look, you're dealing with really dry skin, especially on the fingers, and reddish borders. And the itch, oh man, the itch can be intense. It gets so much worse with sudden temperature changes, like going from your warm house out into the cold winter air. It's a classic winter rash, especially for older folks when the humidity just bottoms out. The triggers are mostly what you'd expect, just plain old dry skin, the fact that we produce less skin oil as we age, that dry winter air. But, and this is really important, sometimes this rash can be a red flag. It can be linked to things like a zinc deficiency or thyroid issues, but in some cases, a really bad, widespread version can actually be a sign of an internal cancer, like lymphoma. This is why you never, ever just write off a persistent rash. For this one, treatment actually starts with your surroundings. The first step is to get a humidifier and try to avoid those big temperature swings. The second step is a full-on moisture assault. Thick creams, bath oils, and switching to cleansers that aren't soap. If things are still red and angry after all that, the third line brings in some mild anti-inflammatory creams, like a topical steroid. Next up, Pityriasis Alba. If you've ever noticed a kid with some faint, light-colored patches on their cheeks, there's a good chance this is what you were looking at. It's a really mild type of eczema that we see a lot in children. Let's break down the name, because it tells you everything. Pityriasis is just a fancy word for a fine, powdery scale. And alba, well, that's Latin for white. So, put them together, you get these rounded, pale, or hypopigmented patches that you see most often on the face, neck, and arms of kids. This is most common in kids between 3 and 6, especially if they already have other kinds of eczema. Under the microscope, the key thing you'd see is that there are fewer active melanocytes. Those are the cells that make pigment and give our skin its color. With fewer of them on the job, you get these pale spots. It's really important to make sure it's not another condition that causes light patches, like vitiligo, where the pigment cells are gone entirely. Now, treatment for this is usually super straightforward. Step 1 is simply using good moisturizers. If that doesn't quite do it, step 2 is to add a mild topical steroid. And for those really stubborn cases, step 3 is to use those non-steroidal calcineurin inhibitor creams we talked about earlier. Okay, time for our fourth and final type. Chronic superficial scaly dermatosis. That's a mouthful, right? It also goes by digitate dermatosis. And as the name implies, this is a long-term condition with some pretty unique features. And this picture is a perfect example. See how the patches are kind of long and thin? They almost look like faint fingerprints stretched across the skin. That's exactly where the nickname digitate dermatosis comes from. Digitate literally just means finger-like. So the key things to look for are these reddish, scaly patches that are round or oval, often with those finger-like shapes. One really telltale sign is that the skin inside the patch can look super finely wrinkled, almost like cigarette paper. You usually find this on the torso and limbs, and it's most common in middle-aged men. Under the microscope, the inflammation is surprisingly mild. Okay, now I really need you to pay attention because this slide is probably the most critical one in this whole section. We have to tell this condition apart from something that looks really similar but is much more serious, a pre-lymphomatous eruption. Let's look at the differences. The benign one has regular shapes and doesn't really itch. The precancerous one has weird angular shapes and can be irritating. But here is the absolute bottom line. Chronic superficial scaly dermatitis does not become cancer. The other one can. And this is a perfect example of why self-diagnosing is so dangerous. You need an expert opinion. The treatment plan here follows a pretty familiar path. Start with moisturizers, then add mild topical steroids. But for the cases that just refuse to go away, the go-to third-line treatment is often phototherapy. This is basically a controlled therapeutic dose of specific UV light that helps to quiet down the inflammation in the skin. So from coin-shaped patches to crazy paving cracks, we've looked at 4 really different faces of eczema. Every single one has its own story, its own triggers, and its own treatment. And that brings us to the single biggest takeaway from all of this. Getting the diagnosis right is everything. What we've seen today is that a simple rash is almost never simple. You have one that can look like ringworm and another that, in rare cases, could be a warning sign for an internal disease. Our skin is communicating with us all the time, and it really makes you think, doesn't it? If we just learn to listen a little more closely, could understanding our skin be one of the most powerful tools we have for protecting our overall health? Thanks for joining me for this Explain.
Thanks for watching. Hit like, share, and subscribe to the Dermatology Studio. Ask your skin queries in the comments below.